Hey everybody, it's about that time again. I started this thing a couple weeks ago where I was going to do like a take a sample of something that somebody sent in, right? About a 2-ounce sample. I'll try it, give some notes on it, and then we'll reveal what it is, and I'll rank it. You know, give it like a rating on my my rating scale I've been using, which is kind of fun for me. I like trying new things, especially stuff that you guys love, you guys are passionate about. And so anytime somebody loves something enough to send it into me because they want me to try it, I really appreciate that. So I have a lot of fun with this because it's a good way to get to know you guys, your palates, and what you're interested in as well. Thank you, Matt, for sending in the sample today. Appreciate you, brother. Excited to try this one. Last time we did it was the 1792 barrel proof, and it knocked my socks off. It was super good. Now I've got no clue what this is, but I do have an email that will tell me, and I'll pull that up after we try it and taste it and give some notes. It's a really fun thing to do. If you've never done blinds, blinds are fun. Blinds are fun because it's a great way to A, test your palate, and B, experience new things, see things from a different perspective. You kind of sideline your biases when you do blinds, and blinds are like rarely the same twice. So you could blind 4 whiskeys and then rank them, first to last, and then try the same 4 a week later and rank them completely differently. It could depend on the last thing you ate or drank. It could depend on your mood. You know what I mean? And that's what's fun about it. All right, so here we go. Let's go in on this sample here. Well, the nose is very sweet. Like dessert pastries. I think of those like those cream cheese danishes on the nose. Flaky and sweet. I don't know why. Literally, the very first thing I thought of when I smelled this was a cream cheese Danish. A swirl of caramel and a little bit of heat. I wonder if this might be a barrel proof product just on the nose alone. It is kind of viscous. Roll it around in the glass a bit. And it has taken its sweet time to run down the sides. Hopefully that means we've got a good mouthfeel in store for us here. A hint of like barrel funk on that too. And some stewed corn. That's a pretty appealing nose. Let's give it a shot. Well, I definitely am gonna double down on that guess that this is a barrel proof product of some kind. And it's not a scotch, not a rye. That's a bourbon, through and through. That's bourbon. So plenty of heat on that. It packs a bit of a punch. But that's definitely sweet up front. That cream cheese Danish sort of tasting note kind of comes through there. You get that sweet pastry up front. Then the heat comes. And on the tail end of it, you get a lot of that sort of barrel funk influence that you get with a lot of barrel proof products that have been aged for a considerable amount of time. I would be really surprised if this was a 4-year product. I think this is probably, I'm going to guess, in the 6 to 8 year range. It's interesting, like up front, it kind of makes me think of a Beam product, but then on the tail end, it makes me think of Heaven Hill. I get some of those same notes I get with an Elijah Craig barrel proof, you know what I mean? Pretty oily mouthfeel on that too. Kind of like we thought, just based off of the viscosity on the glass alone. It does have a bit of an oily mouthfeel to it, which I do like. I like those really viscous drinks. All right, I'm going to make a few guesses here. I'm going to say that is, first and foremost, that's a bourbon. I'm going to write these down so I don't forget what I guessed. Bourbon. I think it's barrel proof or at batch strength, one of the two. I'm going to guess the proof is, I'm going to guess 118 proof. I'm going to say 6 to 8 years. And I'm going to say no finish on it. I don't think that was finished in anything. Does that about cover all the things, all the categorizing I need to do? All right, those are my guesses. Should I guess a distillery? That'd be a shot in the dark. Someone sends me in a blind sample and I guess the distillery. That would be a shot in the dark. But if I had to guess, I'd go with Heaven Hill. Just because it reminds me of Elijah Craig barrel proof. Okay, let's see what this bad boy is. Okay, so this makes sense now. That thick, viscous mouthfeel, that dessert pastry note I was getting, makes sense now. This is Old Forester single barrel. So this is an Old Forester single barrel proof. So it's a 128 proof. I guessed what, 118? Close enough. It's not really close enough. That would not do well in like if I was like doing a tasting at some hoity-toity event and I guess 10 proof points off. They'd crucify me for that. Warehouse K, Floor 1, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Well, I gotta say, I mean, it was a Kentucky bourbon, no doubt, and definitely barrel proof. What's the age? That's what I want to know. Usually the Old Forester single barrels are at least 6 years old. They're usually at least 6 years old. So I said 6 to 8, that's probably about right. Now, I traditionally really like Old Forester products. I think 1910 is delicious. I think 1920 is fantastic. I think 1920 is like one of those things that should be on everyone's shelf. You know, at some point, you gotta have some 1920 up there. I get like, you know, those buttery caramels off of the 1920. A lot of people pick up banana on Old Forester stuff. I don't tend to get banana. I think what I get is that, and this is why I said I wasn't surprised, that dessert pastry or that breakfast pastry note. I think that's what I get when people say banana, is I get like that cream cheese Danish note. That's why when I said I saw that, I was like, oh, come on. Should have guessed Old Forester. But that is delicious. So that comes in at $85 a bottle, because that's a store pick. So what it is, for that price, we got to rate it. I think if I was going to rate that, now I do tend to like Old Forester products, so bear that in mind. If you are not an Old Forester fan, maybe you'd rate it a little bit lower. But for me, I think I'm going to give that, I'm going to give it a solid 8. That's excellent. That is excellent whiskey. I think to be higher than that, I would want it to maybe break out of its own boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times I really appreciate when a whiskey does what it does really well, but then it also starts to explore some new notes. This is like right in line with Old Forester. This is like through and through Old Forester and very well executed. It's delicious. But yeah, maybe if they could expand on that palate a little bit, give it some added complexity. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm going to give that a flat 8 out of 10, which for me that's pretty high. That's pretty high praise. I usually rate things lower than that. I'm gonna enjoy sipping on that the rest of the night. Thanks again, Matt, for sharing. Appreciate it. Hey, if any of you guys are interested in sending anything in to me, let me know. You can get involved in the Patreon group. And one of the things I would love to do is get a Discord up and running, so we can just kind of share with each other what we're doing. And then you can reach out to me directly through that once we get that up and running. And I'll be sure to say something in a video if we do get a Discord group up and running. That way you can talk to me directly, and we can hook something up if you wanted to send a sample in. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your generosity, Matt, as always. Cheers, everybody. May you have a full life with full hearts and full bellies. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.